A smirk played at the corner of Thorne's lips, the kind a man wears when he believes he has already won the argument. "Major," he said calmly, folding his arms, "we've got 2 reconnaissance platoons already out there. Thermal drones in the air. Motion sensors on the approaches. You're telling me none of that picked up this elite team of yours?" Sharma didn't react to the tone. She'd heard it too many times before. "Your sensors are calibrated for conventional movement patterns," she replied evenly. "They're not moving conventionally. They're ghosting the terrain, staying below thermal thresholds, and using burst transmissions masked by the storm SM noise. I intercepted a frequency hop sequence your systems aren't even looking for." A few of the junior officers nearby glanced over, curiosity breaking through their discipline. Thorne noticed and didn't like it? He waved a dismissive hand. "Every war game, someone finds a phantom threat in the data. This exercise is about maneuver and logistics, not chasing shadows in the spectrum." Sharma's jaw tightened, just a fraction. "With respect, sir," she said, stepping closer, lowering her voice but sharpening it, "this isn't analysis. It's confirmation. I stripped their outer encryption. I have a grid reference, a movement window, and a call sign associated with their command element. They LLB on that ridgeline." She tapped the map display mounted to the command table. "And then here, inside your perimeter, before 0200. Thorne finally looked at the map. Really looked at it? For half a second, doubt flickered behind his eyes. Then pride slammed the door shut. "We're done here," he said flatly. "You've submitted your report. I'll take it under advisement." He turned away. That was the moment. The directive echoed in Sharma's mind, word for word. Discretionary authority is granted if operational integrity is threatened. She spoke again, louder this time. "Colonel, if you do not reposition your QRF and harden the eastern approach, you will lose this command post." The room went quiet. Thorne turned slowly, his face darkening. "That's enough, Major. You're here to support, not to command." "I'm here to prevent failure," Sharma shot back, the restraint finally cracking. "This isn't about rank. It's about reality." For a heartbeat, it looked like Thorne might explode. Then a new sound cut through the tension, a sharp tone from one of the sensor consoles. "Sir," a signals operator said, uncertainty creeping into his voice. "We're, seeing intermittent noise spikes on the eastern ridge. Could be weather. Could be." Sharma was already moving. "Zoom the spectrum. Narrowband. 0.3-second bursts," she said. The operator hesitated, then complied. The display changed. And there it was. A pattern. Irregular. Intentional. Alive. The room leaned in collectively as the truth surfaced, undeniable and ugly. Thorne stared at the screen, his smirk gone, replaced by something far rarer, shock. "Sir," the XO said quietly, "that's not weather." Silence hung heavy in the command post. Thorne exhaled slowly, like a man swallowing broken glass. He turned to Sharma. "How long?" he asked. 2 hours and 12 minutes, she replied. "If we move now, we control the engagement. If we don't..." She didn't finish. She didn't have to. Thorne straightened, the predator back, but this time, focused. "All right," he said. "We adjust the plan. Eastern Ridge, hardened defense. QRF on standby." Then, after a pause, he didn't look at her when he spoke. Major Sharma, you have the net. Sharma nodded once, already tapping commands into the tablet, her fingers calm, precise. Out in the storm, unseen and unheard, the opposition force continued its silent advance, completely unaware that the signal they trusted had already betrayed them. And for the first time that night, the freezing rain didn't feel quite so cold. A cold silence fell after Thorne's order, heavy enough to press the breath from the tent. For a moment everyone simply watched, some from duty, some from curiosity, all aware that theater and reality had braided together into something brittle. Sergeant Eva Rostova rose without dramatics. She moved not with the swagger of insubordination but with the quiet certainty of a career analyst who had seen too many fights between temperament and mission. "Colonel," she said, voice flat and controlled, "with respect, relieving Major Sharma from duties right now will interrupt the signals net and degrade our situational awareness. We can't afford that window." Thorne turned on her, thunder in his eyes. "Sergeant, that's not your call." "That's exactly what it is," Eva replied. "She's the only qualified operator on that band. If you want charges, file them after the exercise. Right now we harden defenses. We don't create gaps because someone's feelings are bruised." A murmur, half agreement, half nerves, ran through the tent. The XO, sensing the fracture widening, stepped between the two officers like a referee easing combatants apart. He looked to Thorne with the careful politeness of a man trying to steer a storm. "Sir, operational continuity is paramount. If you insist on this action, we'll need to reassign the signal suite immediately, and that will cost us time we don't have." Thorne's jaw worked. For a long, branded second he weighed pride against prudence, the old instinct to dominate battling the newer one that now repeatedly whispered, "You do not know what you do not understand." The tent seemed to hold its collective breath. "Fine," he spat finally, the victory hollow. "She keeps her position. But I want a written memorandum on my desk by 0600. We will address this formally." Sharma didn't look up from the cable. Her hands continued their small, exact movements, as if the tiny screws and contacts between her fingers were the only real things left. "Understood, sir," she said. No triumph, no triumphalism, only an even note that carried iron. Eva sat back down and rerouted power diagnostics without a word. The net hummed back to life, panels flickered, and the little world of the operations center snapped once more into mechanical usefulness. Outside, the storm sounded like a low animal breathing. Inside, the machines complained in beeps and shifting graphs. Once the immediate domestic crisis was contained, Thorne retreated to his station, still red at the collar, eyes like hot coals. He barked terse orders and began reallocating units in a flurry that was almost overcompensation. Sharma used the pause to upload the cleaned intercept to the secure command queue and to send a separate, encrypted notification to the Joint Special Operations Liaison she trusted, just a brief factual packet, grid, EDA, signature analysis, confidence band. It was procedural, aseptic, everything that mattered removed any scrap of emotion. She allowed herself one glance at the silver key and raven badge as she refastened the cable, an unnecessary small ritual to remind herself who had authorized this work. The badge caught the dim light and threw it back in a lean, sharp shard. It was not for Thorne. It had never been for him. At 0110 hours, a sensor console emitted a soft, persistent ping, a low-frequency signature that crawled up the display like a pale tide. Heads turned again. The movement was faint, difficult to distinguish from wind-borne artifacts, but Sharma's trained eye narrowed immediately and the tablet in her lap flared to life. "Eastern approach," she said, voice quiet but decisive. Bearing 320. Too low observable contacts. They're accelerating the window. Thorne's face collapsed, then hardened into action. All right, he said, the colonel reassembling himself. Execute defensive posture Gamma. QRF, move sector east. Snipers, hold ridge. Sharma keep the net. I want continuous updates. He didn't look at her when he said it? He didn't have to. The order spoke of grudging trust, the only kind that often follows humiliation. Sharma's fingers flew across the tablet, filters tightening, call signs mapped, transmission paths adjusted. Outside the tent, the rain drove into the valley like 1,000 small drums. Inside, a thin blue light traced the enemy's approach like a needle pulling thread through dark fabric. In the weeks to come, if charges were filed, if pride demanded satisfaction, the paperwork would find its due. But in that bitter hour, as men and women moved to harden a perimeter under a sky that threatened to tear itself apart, the badge on Sharma's chest weighed exactly what it should, a quiet credential for the work she had done and the ones she would yet do. She listened. The signal whispered back, and she answered. For a fraction of a second, no one moved. Darkness has a way of stripping rank from a room. In the absence of light and screens, what remained was fear and instinct. Emergency protocols. Thorne barked, his voice cutting through the chaos by sheer force of habit. Red lights. Defensive sectors report. But the radios were dead. The network was gone. His words vanished into the storm like smoke. Then another sound crept in, subtle but unmistakable to trained ears, the soft clink of disturbed wire outside the canvas walls, followed by the faint hiss of rain hitting hot metal. Sharma was already moving. Kill the white light, she said sharply. They'll be watching for silhouettes. The lieutenant hesitated only a heartbeat before slapping the switch, plunging the tent into deeper shadow. Emergency red LEDs flickered to life, bathing the command post in a dim, blood-colored glow. Sharma turned to Thorne for the first time since stepping forward. Sir, she said, her tone stripped of accusation now, all steel and urgency, they're inside your decision cycle. This is no longer an intelligence problem. It's a fight. Thorne swallowed. Around them, soldiers were scrambling, helmets on, weapons coming up, hands shaking just.